What's going on, Jerome's? So we're in the thick, the midst, THICC, thick of free agency, and Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the Vikings, general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. It's his time to shine. Like the 2 month stretch between free agency and the draft, it's Kwesi time, baby. So Vikings have had a lot of changes on the roster. Kirk Cousins, Danielle Hunter gone, a gaggle of new players in, and also Sam Darnold. Cool. So Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell addressed the local media jackals today. Something I also noticed too. I hadn't seen this before, but the Vikings team technical difficulties page is the 2010 dome collapse. That is glorious. I love everything about it. It's great, man. It's fantastic. So, first up, Will Raggett, Sports Illustrated. I would not say that Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, when asked if Kirk Cousins leaving locks the Vikings into needing to draft a quarterback this year, says they have flexibility. Now, he also said that they have flexibility because they have Sam Darnold in the building, which I see why they're hyped about Sam Darnold, and I understand that Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell have to hype him up as much as possible to the fan base. And I think that they truly believe what they're saying. Otherwise, they wouldn't have spent $10 million on Sam Darnold. But come on. The Vikings could and should find a way to draft a quarterback, possibly and probably moving up from 11 into the stratosphere, going up and get your guy. Right, yeah. So this is just Kwesi, just like everyone else. Hey, the Vikings are desperate to draft a quarterback, and they're looking to trade up. Probably. And I feel like all the teams in the top 10 know that. Next up, with the departure of Kirk Cousins, Kramer, Strib, Kevin O'Connell, in the end, it doesn't really matter. As much as I would have liked to have had Kirk, ultimately what happened is what's best for our team. And Kwesi said there was complete alignment. We've been very clear we think we can win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins. We weren't able to find a middle ground, but that doesn't mean we didn't compete for him. So in a way, it's sort of Kwesi, covering his ass a little bit, but also just reading the tea leaves. I do believe that the Vikings would have taken Kirk Cousins back, but likely on a cheap deal. It was reported that I believe Dan Rossini and Alec Lewis that it would have been They did offer some guarantees in year 2, but not fully guaranteed like Atlanta did, and probably not even the average per season like Atlanta flopped on the table, which is fine. And PFT Florio, not a thermos, basically saying that there's a schism. There's a schism where Kevin O'Connell wanted Kirk, ownership maybe wanted Kirk, Kwesi no, nah. I think it was a spot where all three parties involved on the Viking side, Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi, and ownership, they're just like, okay, we understand that, hey, we've done good things with Kirk. We think that Kirk still has some good football left in him. We will let Kirk back at the right price. And you could say, sure. I mean, Kevin O'Connell, as simply the coach, like he just wants the best players, damn the price. But Kwesi's got to mind the store, and Kwesi and Rob Brzezinski have done a great job clearing up cap space. We'll get to that in a second. And ownership, yeah, they signed off on Kirk Cousins, and they went through with him with all of the contracts through the Spielman years, but they got to be wary as well. It's like, hey, we didn't come across the team just by being stupid with our cash. So we understand that Kirk Cousins could have an age-related drop-off, and we don't want significant guarantees with him in those future years. I mean, just in case we don't want to be holding the bag. So fully understand that. And in the end, I think I do believe Kevin O'Connell. I don't think that he's just being like a spoiled kid out there, because he knows that at a certain point, if he's going to be head coach of the Vikings long time, he would have to move on to a different quarterback. And same thing with Justin Jefferson's thinking too. It's like, yeah, JJ's done great things with Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins ain't going to play for another decade. Yeah, he ain't going to pull Tom Brady all up in here. Seifert, who's not Carl Gershman, O'Connell said that he had known Sam Darnold since Darnold was in high school. I think he still has his best football out in front of him. And O'Connell made some very salient points about Sam Darnold, where he did come in as the number 3 overall pick. He's got all this potential. He's got a big-time arm, can throw with accuracy, just needs to be more consistent. And he talked about how it is going to be a full village with McCown and Grant and Wes Phillips working with Sam Darnold, as well as likely rookie TBD. And you know what? I think this is a very similar situation to Baker and the Buccaneers last year, because Baker also was seen as a bust from the 2018 draft. Baker went number 1, Darnold went number 3, and then Baker ended up in a great situation with the Buccaneers. He has Mike Evans. He had Dave Canlis, who eventually went on to be head coach of the Panthers. And now, I mean, Sam Darnold has got the best coaching that he's had in the National Football League, aside from his backup year with Kyle Shanahan. That's pretty close. Also, the best weapons that he's ever had, the best offensive line that he's ever had, and also the best defense that he's ever had. So, frankly, I think that the Jets years, the Carolina year, was an anomaly. I think it really was. I think Sam Darnold truly does have a chance to thrive here if he can compete against the rookie quarterback TBD. That's something that they also stress too. And Kwesi, Pro Persuasion, according to Kwesi, he doesn't like the word bridge for quarterbacks and said that Darnold is not a bridge quarterback. He reiterated that Sam Darnold is a quarterback on the roster. So, yeah, basically Kwesi just took the media to task, saying that he's not a bridge quarterback, he's not a placeholder, he's not anything. And I do believe, I do declare that even if the Vikings say trade up for a quarterback, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be handed the job. And if that guy wins a job, he wins a job. If Darnold wins a job, he wins a job. I believe that this will be a true blue, straight-up competition in training camp and in preseason. And the Vikings, I mean, we haven't had that for quite some time, and I'm actually pretty pumped about that. And I'm really glad that it's a guy like Sam Darnold, who it hasn't worked out, but he has potential, as well as a rookie TBD, probably a high-end rookie TBD, versus, I don't know, McNabb and Ponder. Good times, man. And lastly, per Persuasion, per Vikings GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, cap flexibility has been a major driver in his decision since he arrived. It's important to have cap flexibility now as well as the future. And that's something that low-key Kwesi and Brzezinski have been very good about, getting rid of some of these bloated veteran contracts and really freeing up cap space. And yes, the Vikings lead the league in dead cap space eaten this year with $50 million plus, but that's just you got to pay the troll toll to get into, so that's what the Vikings are doing now. And all the people said, you got to stop kicking the can down the road at some point. That's what the Vikings are doing. And it's almost like it was part of a plan. It's almost like the Vikings and Kwesi were just trying to get that last little bit out of the veterans from the Spielman roster. It's almost like squeezing that last bit of toothpaste out the freaking tube, man, because I swear to God, my kids will throw away a tube of toothpaste with like half of it gone. It's just like, ideas, meow. Also, what's the deal with kids' toothpaste nowadays? Like, everything has to be bubblegum or strawberry flavored, and everything's like $5. Like, hey, like my toothpaste back in the day, came in like government packaging, and I don't even think it was a tube. I think it was just like a crank. It was basically half clay. Back in my day, we had to walk to school uphill both ways. Why didn't you walk around the hill? Shut up. Anyways, but what the hell? Oh yeah, the cap. Yeah, it's almost like Kwesi had planned, hey, we got void years with Davenport, we have void years with Daniil, we have void years with Kirk Cousins. We can take all of those cap hits on the chin in 2024 and free up $100 million plus in cap space in 2025 because we don't have those Lulu veteran contracts around, and we can afford to be players of free agency, as the Vikings have been very active this cycle, and we can afford to pay Justin Jefferson, Christian Darrisaw, etc., and we'll be good to go. Especially if and when we trade up and draft our future franchise quarterback, who will be on his rookie deal for 3-4 years. So there you go. So this isn't smoke. This isn't, hey, everything is fine, please keep your season tickets. Like, no, this is the most transformative offseason in Vikings franchise history. You lose your quarterback. Well, not lose. You decide to part ways with your quarterback. You decide to part ways with your talisman on the edge, and you're finding your guy, and you're completely revamping things and rebuilding. So it's very exciting times, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah press conference, mid-free agency. And sign Eric Armstead and Xavier Howard and then trade up. That's all. You guys know what to do. Skull, production value.